Hi, welcome back, and I'm continuing what I started in another video, which was looking at the Criterion Collection, English films done in English that I would recommend, and I did like five or six just regular movies, and I had four box sets that had a bunch of stuff in it, which really probably wasn't fair. They're a little more expensive. I would recommend them, the ones I recommended, but it's like anything else. They're more expensive. Maybe that's not the thing to start with. And I was looking really for what should you start with. So let me show you some titles that I think are well worth having in a collection. You can get them on DVD or Blu-ray in most cases. Some of these are out of print, but you can still get them, I believe, in a Blu-ray format, even if you can't get them in a DVD format. First one, there's the first two, I guess, are honorable mentions or something, because the first one is because it's the only title that I have in the Criterion, and I had this movie duplicated. Somebody sent me one, and then I had another one, and I think this is the one somebody sent me, and I just, because it's so unusual, I kept it. It just was different, which is The Ice Storm by Ang Lee, and you'll notice down here at the bottom, it's got a kind of a, and I don't believe, I'd have to look it up and see, but I think this whole white circle or square around this is all something that they did here at the University of California, Berkeley. Kind of cool. It's called On the Same Page. Don't know what that means exactly, but on the back it's got this kind of a thing. Still kept the rest of the look of the back. It does chop off a little bit. I can read it. It doesn't bother me. It chops off like one letter, I think. No problem reading it. But let's talk about the film itself. The Ice Storm. Probably the best film of the 90s, or one of them anyway. Ang Lee, of course, comes in and does a great job. It tells a truly American story, though. It's 1973, takes place in Connecticut. It's right around the time that Watergate was going on, so you'll see in the movie there's pictures of Nixon on television talking about what's going on, and it'll cut to that once in a while. But let me read what it says here. It's while the Watergate hearings are blasting from the television, the Waywood, Hood, and Carver families try to navigate a Thanksgiving break. So no school, college, everything's back. And it is simmering with unspoken resentments, sexual experimentation, and cultural confusion. With crystalline clarity and characteristic subtlety, and even a little bit of wicked humor, Academy Award-winning director Ang Lee adapts Rick Moody's acclaimed novel of American malaise into a trenchant, tragic portrait of lost souls. Featuring tremendous cast of established actors Kevin Kline, Joan Allen, Sigourney Weaver, and up-and-coming stars Tobey Maguire, Christina Ricci, Elijah Wood, Katie Holmes. The Ice Storm is one of the finest films of the 90s. Well, there you go. This is a double edition set. So you got two discs and a booklet. The booklet also has the white thing. I think they made this booklet. I'm not positive. I think they did. Anyway, yeah, the Ice Storm. I always kind of wanted the original one over this one, and then have this one to save. But I just like the fact that it came from University of California, Berkeley. Just in perfect shape. So kind of cool. All right, that's that. The other one that's honorable mention is the first Criterion I ever saw in my life. Didn't even know there was such a thing. I was a kid, and what caught me was the price of this, as well as the general look of it. And then I learned more about the film. Of course, I knew who the director was from Monty Python days. But it's Brazil, and it's the triple disc DVD. Great movie. Love the way they package this, so that basically you have this clear thing, and you can change this to be, however you want it to be. If you want to put this on the front, you can do that. I like to go with the traditional one like this on the front, because it kind of just fits right in there nicely like that. The letters are matching up and everything. Great story. It's a futuristic world that Gilliam has created. It's a very celebrated film by him. And I would recommend it without giving a lot away. It's a futuristic film about how people are working, what kind of the jobs there are, what life is like in the distant future. Yeah, good stuff. Brazil. Next is Rosemary's Baby, by Roman Polanski. Let's excuse the plastic I have on all these, but I try to keep it, especially when it's got this sticker on it. This is director approved by Roman Polanski, and it is the Blu-ray edition. I think most people know this story of a woman in Manhattan whose husband and neighbors seem to be, maybe they are, conspiring against her and her baby. They're overly concerned about the baby and what's going on with the baby, and she fears that perhaps they're in some sort of a cult and there's some sort of a demonic thing going on here. And of course, there is. So, psychological terror, great film, Polanski's best, and a lot of extras on this one too. By the way, I'm picking these because of the extras as well. So when I recommend this, if you're going to spend $20 on a disc, that's on sale, of course. You ought to get one that has a lot of special features, and this one does. You know, the restored transfer, of course, a lot of documentary stuff that's going on. Interviews with Mia Farrow, who stars, and the producer Robert Evans. Interview with Ira Levin, who wrote the actual novel this is based upon. There's a lot of stuff on here. Great booklet with a lot of good essays in it. Rosemary's Baby. Okay, let's see. What's next? This one next. Ace in the Hole. Love Ace in the Hole. Probably Kirk Douglas's best performance. You could argue that, I suppose, but I think it is. It's a great performance by him. And it deals with a newspaper man who has been taken from the big city and put out in the middle of nowhere, and finds maybe the story of the decade, certainly the story of the year, and goes ahead and, or maybe it's the scoop of a lifetime, as it says on the back here. And he's going to do anything to keep getting the headlines. So he's getting the headlines, and he continues to get the headlines by various means. Yeah. Directed by Billy Wilder, and this is a follow-up to a great movie, Sunset Boulevard, which I wish they would do on Criterion. They haven't done that, have they? I've lost a little bit of time. Certainly they hadn't done it recently. But anyway, I think they should do that on Criterion Collection. Ace in the Hole, Kirk Douglas, Billy Wilder, great film. Oh, by the way, it's 1951, 111 minutes, black and white, 1.37 to 1 aspect ratio. Okay. I suppose I should go back to Rosemary's Baby. This is in color, of course. 1968, 136 minutes, 1.85 to 1 aspect ratio. So it'll be more of a widescreen look. 2 left. I tried to do this a little bit quicker than the last one I did, because the last one took forever, like 30 minutes. So this one will clock in at 10 or 12. Next one is Spine 97. This particular version is out of print, but there's another one that's probably better, I guess. I just never double dipped on it. This is the DVD. It's on Blu-ray now. From 1989, 120 minutes in color, 1.85 to 1 aspect ratio. It's 2 discs. One is the movie, and the other ones are supplements. And that is Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing. I like this cover with Spike Lee on it, with the Dodger. Of course, he's in the movie, as are a big cast. Denny Aiello, Ossie Davis, Ruby Dee, a lot of people in it. Samuel L. Jackson, of course, Rosie Perez, John Turturro, and Spike Lee. Talking about what happens one very, very hot day in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant actually, when tempers fly and a few things go wrong, and all of a sudden what's just a hot day turns into a riot. Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. And last but not least, again, I recommend all these. You can see all the extras on this one too. There's a lot of extras on this. Finally, A movie I think everybody should own, and everybody should certainly see on Criterion, by one of the most famous movie makers, but not necessarily for really known for his earlier work, but I think this is his greatest movie. From 1940, 125 minutes, black and white, 1.33 to 1 ratio. So, but I've watched it, and it plays fine on my widescreen television. A lot of extras on it. A movie that is almost impossible to believe that it was made when I think about it, especially when I think about the time it was made in 1940. It's called The Great Dictator by Charlie Chaplin, or Charles Chaplin, as it says here. Still a comedy, but with an awful lot of social commentary on it. I always thought that Charlie Chaplin, when you look at him like this, if you were to just part his hair, and he's got the same mustache as Hitler. And that was certainly not lost on him. And this movie definitely makes a commentary on life, on war. It is a comedy, so the dictator is seen as somewhat of a buffoon for some of the movie. And then the ending soliloquy that Charlie Chaplin delivers is one of the more famous pieces of film I think ever made. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you should really see it. So that's that one. So just to recap real quick, The Ice Storm, your copy won't have this, by Ang Lee. Brazil. Rosemary's Baby. Roman Polanski. Billy Wilder's Ace in the Hole. Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And finally, Charlie Chaplin, The Great Dictator. That's the rest of them. Your comments are welcome. I'm thinking about doing one on, when I was picking these out, I was going to look for documentaries too. And I had a few in my hand, and I thought, you know what? Let me leave those as a separate category, because they're really not the same thing as a movie that is fictional. Nonfiction documentaries have kind of a different style, obviously. There's no actors in them, and a totally different look and feel. Yet there are some great ones on the Criterion Collection, so maybe I'll take a look at that one next time. All right, take care. Hopefully your day is going well. Keep that social distance. Keep quarantined, and see you next time.